Hey YouTube, here's another video of me setting up the Canon C50 with the RF 100 to 300 millimeter lens with the 2x extender attached, giving me a 200 to 600 millimeter f/5.6 lens. This will be my wildlife rig setup, and let me show you how I go about that. First, I start with the base of a really right stuff plate. Next, I have 15 millimeter rods set up. These are 16-inch rods. SmallRig lens support plate. An Arca Swiss adapted SmallRig plate for the 15 millimeter rods. A V-mount battery 15 millimeter rod adapter also. And I ran into a little problem, which I'll show you later in the video, but I'm using a really right stuff quick release right here. And I'll show you that a little bit later in the video. Let me get started now by mounting the lens to the rail system. You just line up the back of the tilter cage that I have on the rig already. And you just tighten down the clamp underneath, very quick. No tools needed. The foot was already pre-mounted, but this is adjustable. Let me show you. This is adjustable support right here. So this can go up and down depending on the lens you use. It can also slide up and down on the rail system depending on where you want to provide support. This I found was the best for the 1 to 300 lens, but depending on the lens that could vary. Okay, next I will put the handle on the C50. Again, no tools, nice and quick. Love this handle, great handle. I mentioned that a bit in my previous video. So now what we want to do is we're just going to set up the components, and I'll show you how everything attaches with the 15 millimeter rods. Let me show you the little issue I ran into with the battery plate. So let me show you here. Previously, on my shorter lens setup, I was using this small plate by SmallRig, and this is great because it flips out of the way. You can close your screen, open the screen, close it, etc., get the battery out of the way. And more importantly, when it was in the upright position, this pin, the screen fit in between this, so you didn't hit the pin. Problem I ran into with the 15 millimeter rod setup is this pin hit the screen, so I couldn't close it to the V-mount battery. So I was afraid this would damage it because it's just one little point of contact hitting the screen. So how I did, mentioned earlier in the video, I mounted a really right stuff quick release, mounted it to the bottom of the V-mount battery plate. So now this just clicks into place like so. So that makes it really nice. So now I can have a very quick release system to get rid of the battery, open the screen, etc. I don't have to remove the top handle, anything like that. So now I'll just attach the V-mount battery plate. Like so. I'll open my screen because that's how I typically have it. We'll just slide in the really right stuff quick release bracket, and there you go. So very nice, and like I said, I just hit this little lever and the battery comes right out. Boom, locks right back into place. And then that solves my screen. As you can see, the pin is now above the screen because it gave me that little bit of additional height. So that worked out perfect. Without that, you will have this screen hit this pin. There's just no way. I tried multiple ways, sliding things back, etc. There's just no way with this SmallRig 15 millimeter rod basic system that this pin will be out of the way, unfortunately. But if you do either an adapter plate, etc., something like that, another quick release system, that could be very helpful. Okay, so let's move on. So what I'll attach next is I use a side handle. I'm not showing the mic that I use for wildlife, which is the Comica VM40, which is a shotgun mic. This is one just I'm putting on just to show you. I use the Comica because two things. It's a 32-bit float mic. It's also wireless. So I can, using this device here, which I can mount in a minute, I can go wireless to the mic. I can also go into the camera, so this gives me a track to sync up. So where I like that is that I can actually take this off. Sometimes, depending on where you are, there's too much noise, depending on the time of day, etc., kind of ruins the video. But I found, depending on location I'm at, sometimes early morning, very quiet out, you get a lot of nature sounds. I can actually just dismount this, walk around with a Comica mic, taking sound, using this as my handle, and it works phenomenal. And then I can sync up later, putting in, you know, either just background music or sync it up to a post. If I want to, like I said, record wireless, have one track go into the camera as I'm recording, this will simultaneously record, and then you could just sync it up very nicely. So I really like the Comica VM40 mic. But let me just show you how this attaches. It's all simply screws right in. And if I didn't mention it already, I don't believe I did, I'm using a tilted cage, which is already mounted on the C50. Tilted cage has tons of mounting points. It's got some nice locking mechanisms for the cables, USB-C, HDMI. Again, nice cage. SmallRig makes a nice cage too. I'm not partial to either one. They both seem like pretty decent cages. I'm just happening using the tilter. Also, the tilter comes with a top handle for some extra mounting points. You attach this to the top handle. Gives you another cold shoe mount. A few mounting points at the top also. Now I'll attach the monitor, which is a Shinobi II. I'm using an Atomos, just a quick release. Snaps right in. Put it into the cold shoe, tighten it down, and the monitor itself snaps right in. There's a quick mount plate in the bottom. Snaps in. Then I just plug in the cords. This is the HDMI. I just come down, plug that right in, then I take and I'm using, I don't know if you can see it in the video, I'm using Kondor Blue cable management system, which I can show you that. They are just small mounting points. What that does is just put your cable out of the way, so not flopping around. Just they work really good. You can put them in any of the screw holes depending on what fit your needs. So what I do is I just mount the HDMI and then just hook it up there. What that does, it just keeps it from flopping around. It tightens it up a bit, and then I bring my USB-C behind it. So again, that won't be interfering with the Comica mic, and then just plug that right into the USB-C port of the V-mount. Just tighten this down. And then next we'll power up the camera. So all I do here, plug in right into the V-mount. I go through behind the V-mount battery, and then right into the USB-C socket. And Tilta's got quick, no tools. You can tighten these thumb screws, locks the cords right into place. Very nice system. I like the mounting system on that. And again, you can see the screen's out of the way of that pin, so I can see everything, and then just like so. So next, we'll mount the Comica wireless the way I do it. This has a clip for hot shoes, or you can put it on your clothes too if you needed a pocket or something like that. I just put an extra cold shoe. I have a SmallRig cage on my monitor. Then I just come in, plug it into XLR port, like so. So now I can record wirelessly to the mic, so I can put the mic on a tripod somewhere and still record sound into the camera. So you get quite a few options with the Comica system. So I think that covers, one more thing I'd like to just show you. I do have a variable mount system that it's 112 millimeter. This is by Kani. Very nice. It's variable, like I said. This just screws in. I'm doing this a little backwards here, the video. So that just screws right in. Locked in. And now you got a nice, quick variable adjustment. They allow a pin that can be removed. So if you want to run it with the hood, I typically, when I do video, I don't use my hood. I'll just keep this variable ND filter on. And the cover does go on this too, so you got some protection pinching on there also. So that's pretty much my complete wildlife setup. So like I said, this is how I pretty much run it. And then you could easily, still very portable, if you want to hand hold some shots, you can just, it's a nice support piece. You're actually very stable with it running around it. This is around 15 pounds total setup, so you wouldn't want to hold it, hand hold it all day, but it would make it for some nice quick run and gun. Put it on a tree trunk, fence post, something like that if need be. And overall, very happy with the system. And there we have it. So any questions, just leave a comment down below, and I'll be happy to try to answer any of your questions you might have. Thanks for watching, and then have a great day.